MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome, Wargamers, to another episode of Rules You Get Wrong. This is for the battle report that I've had against Dan. Dan, my doppelganger. Yes, Dan the man with the red beard, whom I love to play against. And I love him too, because he is a good person. And he says funny things that make me laugh. Okay, we're going to go over the rules that you guys think that we got wrong and the rules that we got wrong. So there was a little bit of both. And this is an 8-part battle report. If you haven't watched it, I've included a link below the video so you can actually watch the battle report. If you've already watched the battle report and you've deciphered through all the banter, the rules that we've gotten wrong, or you want to learn more about the rules, this is a video that's actually worth looking at because it has hard facts telling you yes or no, or the ambiguity of Games Workshop and 40K rules. So it's a video of learning as opposed to a video of random crap. Both are good, in my opinion. So let's start with some of the comments you've left and some of the responses that I have. So, Darkened Light at hotmail.com says, Dave, you did remember that wasn't Karn, right? Why isn't the Reclusiarch with a squad? Yes, I did remember it wasn't Karn. If I said anything referring to the fact that he was Karn, it was pure jokeness and sarcasm. And I do that for dramatic effect. Whether it works or not is up to the viewership. So, he's not Karn, he's Reclusiarch. Karn doesn't wish he was Reclusiarch because he's Karn. He doesn't need to wish he's anything else but. Anything I say sounds like I'm joking. I'm serious when I said that I was joking about the fact that I may have said he was Karn and not Reclusiarch. But he actually was Reclusiarch in the game. Karn proxying for Reclusiarch. I thought that would be hilarious. So, Danger Dude. Dave, stop using 3 predators. It's kid stuff, dude. The Bale pattern ones are all you need in a Blood Angel force. Points. That's why. Because I didn't have the points for Bale Predators. I love Bale Predators, and I could have brought 2 and then something else. Or I could have brought 3 regular Predators with last cannons, and that's what I chose to do. So my army list is up to how I want to build it. Thank you very much, my friend, amigo. MiniWarGaming Ninja is going to visit you in your sleep now. Tobster24. When you get a weapon destroyed, you take both blast cannons because they're a pair. You paid for them as a pair. Well, page 61 of the 40K rulebook says under vehicle damage result, one of the vehicle weapons chosen by attacker is destroyed. One weapon. So, and if you think about it logically, if you're shooting at the side of a tank and you get a weapon destroyed, and you destroy that weapon, even though you get to choose, you destroy that one weapon, right? Why are both destroyed? Unless you get 2 damage results that are weapon destroyed. It's only 1. And I can't disagree with the rule book there because it says 1 weapon is destroyed, not a pair that you brought in and paid for both. It just doesn't work like that. Demon Prince yourself says Vindicare actually has armor penetration of 1, so any damage to vehicles goes up on the damage chart. Good banter. Since I don't have a Grey Knight's Codex, I'll have to take your word on this. It's probably true though, because a lot of the comments that were left said this. And if that were the case, if that is the case, if he does have an AP1 weapon, then anything that he were to, penetrate would go up by 1. And if that one result there was a result of 4, should have gone up to 5, and it wasn't caught by the player fielding that model, and it was allowed, whether accidental or inadvertently, then the game continues, and no one is the wiser. So, in other words, if you forget a rule that is to your own detriment, it's your own fault in the game. And if one player misunderstands a rule and are cheating, and it's allowed by the other player because they don't challenge it, then it's allowed as well. So basically, whatever goes. I mean, if you let it go, if someone says to you, my Land Raider has 14 armor and you have to re-roll twice on the damage result table, and the other player accepts it, then it becomes a house rule then. And you live in the town of Cheese. Darkenedlight at hotmail.com says, why take cover when you're allowed your better armor save? So this was probably in reference to the fact that he said that the heavy bolters, you don't get cover, I'm shooting at you. That part is true. I still get my regular cover save if he's shooting with heavy bolters. But he was also shooting me with other weapons, i.e. las cannons. And so there it matters. So that's all I have to say about that. Forrest. The Whiz Kid says, I'm sure that Ballista Skill 8 lets you reroll, but needing 4, not 6. Page 18 of the 40K rulebook says this too. You need a 2 for the first roll and 4 for the second roll if you missed the 2, if you rolled a 1. So that's true. Look at page 18. That's what it says. Undeniable. Darkenedlight@hotmail.com says, priests are not 1 kill point each, I believe. Page 87 of the Blood Angel Codex even says that 1 to 3 priests may be taken in a single elite choice. Thus, a single kill point for all 3. So this is a very interesting thing, because you would think that, right? I have thought this before, but unfortunately, my friend, that is not the case as well. Page 49 of the rulebook says, under independent characters, which sanguinary priests are, and under assault says, independent characters are always treated as a separate single model unit. So even though there's 3 priests, part of one squad, they're independent characters. They count as separate kill points. So that's just what it says there. So I can't deny it. So loves to spooge. What? How come these names are just so? Vindicare Assassin HP1. That was a dead pred. Hi, Larry, us. Batrep though. Yes, in response to what I said before, that is correct. Well, I think it's correct. I can't actually say because I've never seen it in the Grey Knights Codex. So I'll have to take your word for it, in the words of half a dozen other people. Digilante says, did you roll to hit for those grenades? You need a 6 to hit and a 6 to glance. Yes, it sucks to use cracks against the Dreadnought. And in the 40K rulebook, page 73, third paragraph down, under walkers and assaults, it says, a model will only manage to score a hit with a grenade against a walker on a roll of a 6. Unless it was immobilized or stunned in previous turn. Then you compare weapon skill as normal. So that is correct. If I didn't do that, then that was a mistake on my part. Brucey. Again, I mentioned the fact you cannot use grenades and power fists. The whole squad uses one or the other. Now this is very interesting because I have searched all over for this. Okay? And the 40K rulebook FAQ. This is the FAQ for the 40K rulebook. Page 2, under Assault phase, says, can a unit with multiple grenades that have an effect when launching an assault or being assaulted use one of each of them in the same assault phase? And the answer is yes. Note that a model can still only use one type of grenade when attacking a vehicle. Now, that doesn't answer the question of grenades versus power fists in the same assault. It answers the questions of multiple grenades in the same unit. But in the rulebook, page 63, under Vehicles and Assaults, under Grenades, it says, grenades have to be clamped or replaced so as to inflict enough damage. So each model using them can only ever make one attack, regardless of the number of attacks on their profile and any bonus attacks. So the key 2 words there are each model using them. It doesn't say each unit using grenades, it just says each model. So this is one of those things where it's ambiguous. It doesn't actually say black or white, one or the other. It's up to an interpretation. And if you look on the forums, the general consensus is that it's up to each model what they use because they have their own personalities and they have the right to decide their own fate. Unless you're a Khorne Berserker, then you just run into whatever and die, kind of like a kamikaze. But, yeah. Power fists and grenades, you can use them both. Doesn't say either way, but I rule in that favor. If you think differently, then that's fine, because it doesn't actually say either or anywhere. It doesn't. The FAQ, the rulebook, doesn't say either or. It doesn't clarify that. So Be careful what you say so confidently before you write, because it makes it look like it's law, when it's not, because we live in a lawless society. That doesn't really reference anything. I just felt like saying it like that because... Let's go on to the next. Tank Itty says, the Venerable Dreadnought did hit the squads. He needed 3s, as he's Web Skill 5 to the Assault Marines Web Skill 4. If this was rolled not that way, then it should have been, because if his weapon skill was 5 and he was against my 4, then he needed 3s. So that's correct for him to hit me. Fire at Will says, sorry to be the one to mention the R word, but Dave, you roll 2d6 for difficult terrain when you try to assault into it. To be fair, you did roll a second 2 when you claimed reroll, but you could roll it. So, going back in the video where I did roll that, I did this for dramatic effect. Rolling 2d6 for difficult terrain is universal. It's like an easy basic rule that everyone knows, right? But what I did is I rolled 1 die, and I temporarily forgot to roll the other die. So for dramatic effect, I felt like saying something dumb and being stupid in rolling another die, making it look like that I was allowed to when I shouldn't have been allowed to, but in reality, I was allowed to roll the other die. Does that make any sense at all? Because if it doesn't, chalk it up to this. I did it correctly inadvertently for dramatic effect. And I do that sometimes because it's just more interesting to watch. I mean, sometimes you gotta change it up, you know? You have to purposely make it look like you're doing stuff wrong, just so people think, just so they're still watching and they're still awake. Because sometimes battle reports can be dry. Sometimes. So, this was a rule that I didn't do wrong, but it looked like I did wrong at first. But it looked like I did do wrong because I re-rolled when I shouldn't have re-rolled. I should have just rolled it initially. It looks so weird, and when I'm describing it, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it probably won't make any sense at all. But when you watch it, look at the look in my face. If my eyes are like this, and I'm talking like that, that means that whatever I'm saying is crap. It means I don't actually mean it. And a lot of the things that I say in the banter bat reps are that way purposely, so as to attempt to be funny. I think it's funny, so and I hope other people do. But you're right in that 2d6 for difficult terrain. Well, I took way too long on that point. BKBB 214. After destroying the Razorback, why did you not assault the squad that was in it? Why did I not assault? Because I didn't roll far enough for assaulting through difficult terrain. You have to roll to assault, right? I didn't roll far enough, so that's why I didn't. It's not a choice, it's because I couldn't. I had no choice. Jam J says, the Vindicator Assassin has feel no pain, but not for 4+, only a 6 is needed to feel no pain. So basically, he has a 6 invulnerable save. So a couple things there. If that's the case, because like I said before, I don't know Grey Knight stats. So if he does have a 6+ invulnerable, or 6+ feel no pain, then he should have rolled it, if he was able to. But, to clarify, a 6+ feel no pain roll is not basically a 6+ invulnerable save roll. Not even close. Because there's things that can negate feel no pain. With the invulnerable save, you get it no matter what. So, feel no pain, invulnerable save, 2 different things. They're not basically the same. I just have to clarify that. Even if it is a t-shirt invulnerable save. Or a feel no pain save. What kind of a 6+ feel no pain? Why even bother? Frost at BKBB214. Actually, he couldn't. Rule state that if you blow up the vehicle, you can't charge the occupants inside, as they weren't the target of the shooting phase. So basically what you're saying is after I blew up the Razorback, I couldn't have assaulted the units inside because it was a different target in the shooting phase. That's actually incorrect. I could have assaulted them, because in the 40k rulebook, page 67, under effects of damage results on passengers, it says, if a transport is destroyed, either result, whether a 5 or a 6, by a ranged attack, the unit that shot it may assault the now disembarked passengers, if it is allowed to assault according to the assault rules. So, basically, you can assault the unit that has disembarked from a wrecked vehicle. So, clear as day. Page 67. rulebook. Loves to spoot. Loves to. Every time I see that name, I just get this. Let's say warm fuzzy because it sounds. Explosions are strength 4 for non-open top transports. Also on page 67, it does indeed say this. You're absolutely correct. It does say this. So if we did that wrong, then we did it wrong. So. Fred Rit Tenon. I'll call you Fred. How about that? Dave, did you shoot your Dreadnought Stormbolter and ran? I don't think you can do that. You're right. I can't do that. If I did that, then that was wrong. If it was edited in such a way where it looks like I did that and I didn't, then that was a mistake in the editing process. But it's an 8-part battle report. I don't remember that. But you're right. You can't shoot and run. Nothing can. Nope. Nothing. Fred again. Invenerable Dreadnought can force foe to re-roll on the damage table, which I assume he would have wanted. Grey Knight rules, if that's the case, then if he forgot it, then he forgot it. Right? I can't say, oh, don't you want to make me re-roll? And even if I did remember, would I want to remind him of that? Isn't it up to the player to, you know? And to be fair, Dan is a fantastic player. We both made mistakes playing this game. We had so much banter that the banter took precedence over the rules of the game. So if mistakes were made, mistakes were made. It's because we were distracting each other with our beards. That doesn't make sense. The rules are secondary in a banter batrep. Just keep that in mind. But it's still good to learn from things of that nature. He's my doppelganger, and I love him. Beware of Tom. Rawr, you did melee wrong. 2 things. Whenever a dread takes shaken or stunned, he loses 1 attack. And he was supposed to attack the priest and squad separately, like different units, therefore he could have survived. Okay, so attacking the priest and squad separately is correct. That you have to do them separately because he's an independent character, so that part's correct. As for the dread losing 1 attack if he has a shaken or stun result, that's incorrect, but only partially incorrect. Page 73 of the rulebook says if it's stunned or immobilized, then they lose 1 attack. So the shaken, they don't. Nothing happens there. Vigilante. When assaulting into cover, it is just like moving. 2d6, pick the highest. Guess it worked out since you re-rolled it anyway, but just so you know. Okay, so you're referring to the thing that I did before in the rolling 1 die after the other. So we already went over that. 0, 0. 0, 0. It's the word 0 plus it's a 0 after it. Warhammer 40k rulebook, page 33, disallowed assaults, bottom paragraph. You have to assault what you shot. Your assault marines shot the Razorback and cannot assault Grey Knights after shooting the Razorback. Please cite pages if I am wrong. We also went over this, and I will go back in here and I will cite the page, because you are indeed wrong. I said that a little strong. You're just wrong. You're not indeed wrong. Where is the page? Page 67 of the rulebook, under effects of damage results on passenger, under the explodes section. So page 67 of the rulebook. I will cite the page. I have cited the page. That's the page you need to look at. So